This is DeerTech TV. Moving your blind to better serve your hunting needs can be a tiresome and drawn-out task, not to mention risky if deer season has already begun. That's why this year Brad Rux is trying out the new Maverick Blinds 6-shooter. Between the rumored ease of setup, simple mobility, and color options, he's hoping this is going to be the perfect blind in case he finds himself set up in a not-so-hot kind of spot.
Welcome to DeerTech in the field. And we got the Maverick blind all set up, and I got the older ones that had shorter windows. These new ones are absolutely perfect for a bow hunter. We got a little spot right by the office, believe it or not. We got an acre food plot. We're gonna tuck this in a little bit better, probably brush the bottom in. Right now you don't have to because the weeds are so high. So we're gonna let the deer get used to it, and then I'll probably tuck it back in there. But this gives you a ton of space. It's the 6-panel blind. You can easily fit 2 guys in here, if not 3. I mean, I could easily hunt with my kids. The other thing that I really like, and I don't know if you can see, but all of the windows are dark. So the plexiglass is dark, so I can easily see through. But as long as I'm not moving a ton, the deer are not going to be able to see me in here. So it's going to give me the perfect opportunity. These deer all bed over to my left, and they're going to come out to this field. For the last hour, it is a slam dunk. The deer just pile into there. There's actually a bunch of turkeys as well. What I like about the Maverick blinds, you could put a pop-up blind in here, you know, like really easy, tuck it in there. It would be effective. But what I like to do is I like to get my blinds in there early. So this one is, you know, middle of August. We're going to have it already tucked in there. The deer are going to have a month and a half before the season even starts. They're going to get used to it. I don't have to worry about now. The wind isn't going to blow this away. The snow isn't going to cave the roof in or break any of my stakes in the blind. I don't have to worry about this thing. It is totally bomb-proof. I got great vision in here. The other thing that's really nice about this, and I'm going to call it a semi-permanent box blind, the Maverick, is that it's light enough that I could easily pick it up by myself inside and walk it 100 yards. So if this isn't the spot that I need to be, you know, once we have the deer pattern a little bit, and I got to move it 50 yards, I'm just going to get underneath it, pop it up, walk it 50 yards, and set it back down. The other thing I know a lot of you guys might be wondering is about water. How watertight is it? You know, with these 2 halves, you know, and I'm sure you saw when we were building it, the one lip lips over the top. So there's no way water's going to come in. The only way water moisture is going to come in here is if I'm hunting in a snowstorm or a rainstorm and I have my windows right down right here and the wind is blowing that rain into the stand. It's the only way I'm going to get wet. If you're looking for a great blind, check out the Maverick 6-panel blinds. You won't be disappointed.
You're watching DeerTech TV.
If you're one of the hunters that's always cold in the fall, you got to check out the reactor vest from Scentlok. It's part of their Elite Bow Hunter series. It retails for $199, but it is loaded with features. Super quiet, so you can't hear it. And for me, when you're using cold weather clothing, I mean, it is imperative to be extremely quiet. If it's not quiet, the deer's gonna hear you, and everything's amplified in cold weather. But what makes this thing really cool, I'm gonna go ahead and touch it out. Battery's live on here. So if you turn it on, it's going to cycle through the different colors. You can see it's green, right, blue, and red. So whatever I want to set it to, all you have to do is touch it and go down to whatever temperature you want. Green is the lowest. That's going to keep it around 103 to 107. Those heating elements are on your chest as well as your back. Literally, if it's going to keep you at 100 degrees and your body temperature is 99, right, 98.9, I would leave this on 100, and they said that it's literally going to last 6 to 7 hours, which is pretty much as long as anybody's going to be in the tree stand. Some of us nuts people will stay out all day. If you're one of those colder people, amp it up. The next setting is the blue, which is right there. That's going to be 107 to 113. And then the last, which is going to be the red, which is going to be a little bit warmer. It's that 113 plus. So if you had this on underneath, It's getting chilly, the sun's set, you want to warm up in a hurry, boom, you turn that on for the last hour of your sit and you're going to be in perfect condition. The beauty of this vest is that the battery is inside. It's got a special little compartment in there that sits with the battery, but the battery doesn't have that memory. So if your vest, to turn it off, all you have to do is hold the button on and it'll shut down. So if you shut it down here, that doesn't mean like you shut the battery off here. And in the past, you had some battery issues when you tried to turn it back on, the battery actually went dead. So therefore you had to open up all your clothing, return on the battery. This battery does not do that. It literally, once the battery is turned on, your operations are right here, always at a finger control. So some of you may be, questioning about the light, but keep in mind, most of the time you're going to be wearing this vest underneath a different layer. So even though there's a light here, it's not going to really make a difference. And honestly, if I'm in a tree stand, I really don't even care if it does have a light, because if that deer notices a light up in the tree, one, it means you probably were moving way too much. Two, literally, you're going to be 20 feet up in the air, or you're in a ground blind, right? I mean, the odds of that deer seeing that light, we see things in color. Deer see things in shades of black and white. So therefore, even though this is lit up, it may be a little bit, brighter gray in your clothing already, so it's not going to stand out to a whitetail. One thing that's notable on the battery, it also has little LED lights in here. They're very small, but when you turn it on, you can see the blue lights. If it's got 4, it's fully charged. 2 would be half charged, 3 is 3/4. If you only got a quarter bar, you only have 25%. The other thing that's really nice, it has the other charging ports. So if you're in a tree stand, your cell phone goes dead, guess what? You have a spare battery right there. Personally, I'll probably buy an extra battery. They're $39.99, and have 2 batteries. That way I don't have to worry about staying warm. Also, I have a full charge for my cell phone, or if I'm in camp, I could even use it to charge my laptop. Great little battery. It's not that heavy, and the compartment inside is super nice. Another really nice feature of the vest is the pockets. So here, you have your chest pocket if you want to put your cell phone in there, which might be a great strategy because it's going to be right next to the heating element, so your battery and your cell phone probably won't die as easily. But then it also has 2 really nice deep pockets in the front, so you can use it for other storage, your gloves, be it whatever you have. Storage is always important to a hunter, and this vest is loaded with options. It has that same Scentlok technology, which you guys know has been one of the carbon scent elimination leaders in the industry forever. That carbon element literally attracts scent, and once the scent hits that carbon, it sticks to it. Literally, heat cleans that scent away from it, so you can actually charge this back up, just sort of in the dryer on high for a short amount of time, and it'll be recharged. Check it out at Scentlok.com. You won't be disappointed.
It's no secret that whitetails need sustainable nutrition throughout the seasons. With an average loss of up to 25 to 30% of their body weight during the winter, white-tailed deer are always on the hunt for more food sources. With demanding diets of crude fats, vitamins, lots of protein, and a touch of flavor, it's always a safe bet to include supplement feeding into your management plans in the states where it's permitted. And yep, you guessed it. Today, we're talking about the Record Rack Deer Block, loaded with irresistible wild berry aroma.
There's always controversy in the deer world. Baiting, there's either pros or they're against it. The baiters say food plots are like bait. And I disagree with that theory basically overall, because a food plot is, normally you're going to have a larger area. Mine, I like to try to have an acre. That deer can come out anywhere and start eating. It's not like they're concentrated in one small spot, but they're coming to that food source. But it's no different than an egg field. Now baiting, I could care less if a guy baits or not. I mean, I really don't care. But there are people that are totally against it because they think it's an unfair advantage. I've hunted in states you can bait. Kentucky's one of them, Kansas is another one. I've actually hunted over feeders in Texas. And you know what, I didn't feel bad about it because it's legal. And if it's legal, I say go ahead and do it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Now I know, the states that don't allow baiting, what the theory is the baiting is going to concentrate those animals in a very, very small area. So if one of them does have a disease, they're going to transmit that disease very easily. It makes sense to me. The one thing that the food plots, because you can say that kind of does too, because you're pulling in 15, 20 deer into an acre, but what you don't realize is that ultraviolet light from the sun literally kills most of those germs. So even if you're bringing in those whitetails into that acre food plot, most of those germs are going to be killed, where if you're baiting in a very small spot, you know, the sun has to get to it, and it's so concentrated that it's not necessarily going to kill all the bacteria and all the infections. So therefore, that's another big difference in the two. But today, I'm going to talk about Record Rack's Deer Block. This thing is very flavored. So in a state, if you're legally can bait, it is compressed grains. So it's good for the whitetails and other plant matter in there, but it's got 14% protein, it's got 3% crude fat, and fat is huge when you're trying to talk about the health of a whitetail. And then they're throwing in all the important minerals. It's got vitamins, got basically everything. So a lot of people are always dumping salt out or some other type of product at this time of year, or even other things that the deer like, but it necessarily doesn't do a good job giving them the minerals, everything else that they want to grow big antlers. It's attracting to them, you're getting great pictures. This does it all. The other thing that I really like about it, where it's a compressed block, it's gonna last a lot longer. So it weighs 30 pounds. I could dump 30 pounds of corn out or protein feed and put this block out, and this block is probably gonna last a month, where that food's gonna be gone within 4 days. Because the whitetail can come, or other animals can come, they can eat as much as they want. Here they're going to come to the block, and yes, they can eat as much as they want, but it's hard enough that after a while they just get sick of working on it and they wander back off. They liked what they got, so the next day they're going to continue to come back. For you guys that can bait, again, this is one of those products that I can dump off if I'm hunting in Kansas. I can put that block out and come back a month later, or have a friend down there throw another block out in a month, and I'm baiting that area over a long period of time, where if I'm dumping out corn or any other type of product, it's probably going to be gone within 2 or 3 days, so I have to continually dump out that product. So if you're looking for a chance to bait, you know, this is a great product. The other thing I really like about it is, in states where, you know, you can bait and feed animals, like if I could feed these in the winter, I would absolutely love it, because I love watching whitetails come up to the house in the winter. It's, you know, would be a great opportunity to view them, see what kind of bucks you have out there. And that's the other thing, is why does a person want to put this out? You know, I would love to do it to run my trail cameras, because I want to do my inventory. I want to find out how many fawn survival. I want to do all that information, and doing blocks or any kind of bait, corn, whatever. You know, if you put a camera on it, it's going to give you a telling tale of what whitetails are on your property, and therefore you can plan your fall accordingly. If you're looking for a great product, check out Record Rack. This deer block is fruit flavored, or, you know, it's got a smell to it, so it's going to draw in whitetails from a long way. You won't be disappointed.
DeerTech TV is brought to you by It's the end of summer and the beginning of yet another season of exciting hunting. Brad Rux is traveling to the Rocky Plains of western South Dakota for some high country hiking and his shot at an antelope buck.
First hunt of the fall for us. We're out at Hell's Canyon Bow Hunting Ranch, August 21st. You know, we're all excited to get out here. We're hunting antelope. The place has everything. Dirk was nice enough with Dan, the host. They took us out, showed us the entire place, and it's truly amazing. Hell's Canyon it looks like more like elk country, and in fact there are elk there. Unfortunately we didn't get to see it, but they got a big shed from one last year. It's got antelope, mule deer, whitetails, you name it. We're on an antelope hunt. Unfortunately for us, on the way out here, it was raining pretty hard. We still have our hopes up, but you never know how it's going to go. It's day one of South Dakota antelope hunt here. We're hunting on Hell's Canyon Ranch, just beautiful bow hunting ranch. Antelope aren't cooperating. I can see a bunch of antelope. They're probably 2 miles maybe 2.5 miles, because you can see forever. There's probably like 20, 25, 30 of them over there. We're sitting on a fence gap that there's normally alfalfa below us. Another food plot over to the side. Normally they come over in the mornings and head back that way. And they're already over there, so I'm kind of wasting time right here, right now. But it's starting to heat up. It was 43 degrees this morning, so pretty dang cold for South Dakota for middle of August. But it's supposed to heat up, so that should get the antelope hitting the water sources again. And we're on a ton of water, so if they've got to come to water, they're going to start following these fence gaps, and I could get a shot. Time will tell. Day 2. The weather wasn't great. It was a little warmer, but it's still not like the antelope are going to need water. And lo and behold, out of nowhere, I see a buck. He's probably a mile away. He's just kind of cruising through. And I'm like, well, at least I got to see one that's relatively close. And he hits this little green patch, and all of a sudden he turns on a dime, and he's coming in. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to happen. All of a sudden he stops and turns his head, and here come the cattle. The cattle are running to come to the water, and he's like, well, I'm not going to fend off with those guys. I'm just going to turn and go around. Looks like the cows are more thirsty than the antelope is. Day 3 hits. It's hot. It's going to be 90-some degrees. There's no wind. And first thing that I saw was a couple whitetails. It was probably about 11 o'clock, and sure enough, here comes some antelope. And at first, a doe came in with 2 fawns. And here in the state of South Dakota, it's legal, buck or doe. And after a hunt we're having, I'm going home with some meat. I'm going to do some management. We saw quite a few does from a distance. I was going to try to shoot her. I'm trying to self-film myself. I bumped the camera. Now I'm at full draw, and the camera is not on her. And I'm like, trying to get it in, get it back with my elbow. She turns, and rather than go that way, which the camera was facing, she walks right up to the blind, behind the blind, and beds down. So I let down, and I'm just kind of frustrated with myself because I've blown an opportunity. I mean, she was within probably 20 yards. She came within 10 of the blind. But they all ended up circling back, and before they left, they wanted to get one more drink. And the lead doe gave me a great opportunity for a shot. Proof is in the pudding. Didn't make the best shot, hit her a little bit low, but she only went about 80 yards here, so what a great hunt. Shot was a little bit low, clipped the bottom of her heart. She took off, ran probably 80 yards, and expired out there. I couldn't be more happy. I mean, it's a great way to start the season. Now we just got to keep the rest of the season on a roll.